from the Ticats Audio Network. This is Ticats Today with Louie Butko.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Monday, October the 3rd, 2022. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. And no, this isn't a guest host. It is Louie Butko battling a little bit of laryngitis, so I appreciate your patience, and we'll get through this together, I swear. But appreciate you checking us out here on the Ticats Audio Network, where the Ticats were finally back at Tim Hortons Field. Yeah, it feels like it's been months, but just a week. Back from the bye week, Ticats back for day one of practice. Technically, they were back on Saturday, but I was here today to get to watch them and bringing you all the news and notes from practice. Coming up on today's show, we'll hear from head coach Coach Steinauer. We'll hear from Tim White, who is just 17 yards short of 1,000 yards for the season. We'll talk to him about that. And I'll go one-on-one with Dane Evans, get to chat with him. I haven't had a chance to catch up with him in a few weeks, one-on-one anyway. So he and I had a nice 10-minute sit-down outside the locker room today, and I'll play that chat for you coming up on today's show. Appreciate you checking us out. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network so you never miss a show of this show or any of the other great shows on the Ticats Audio Network, including a brand new episode of the CFL This Week with Bubba O'Neill, and he's joined by the play-by-play voice of the Edmonton Elks, Morley Scott, and other voices recapping the weekend that was in the CFL. You can also catch a brand new Coach O show this week with Luke Tasker. And just a programming note, I'm actually off on Wednesday and Thursday, so RJ Broadhead will be stepping in to fill in for those days ahead of his already busy week because he's got the game on Friday. And just a reminder, Friday's game, the Wall of Honor induction ceremony. Yeah, Danny Mack joining the amazing legends who've worn the black and gold. That's happening on Friday, and the Wall of Honor induction dinner happening the night before. You can go to ticats.ca for tickets for that. You could win a trip to the Ticats October 29th away game in Ottawa with Journey Rewards. Simply hit ticats.ca/journey-rewards to enter to win 2 tickets on Via Rail hotel and game tickets, plus a chance at other prizes, including an autographed Ticats jersey or $250 gift card to the Ticats shop. Go on the road with the Ticats to Ottawa with Journey Rewards. Just one little piece of news and notes for you. On Saturday, ahead of their first practice of the week, Ticats announced a couple of transactions. They signed American defensive backs Caesar Williams and Tony Collier. Williams most recently spent time with the NFL's LA Rams during training camp. Collier played 27 games over 3 seasons at the University of New Mexico, wrapping up in 2022. Meanwhile, the Ticats also announced they have released Jalen Redd, the wide receiver, and Des Lawrence. They released him as well. Let's hear from the head coach and president of football ops of the Ticats. That, of course, is Orlando Steinauer. And I wanted to ask him, he's had great success in this league as both a player and a coach. And this season, obviously, the record is not what he wants it to be. So I was curious if he had learned about himself as a coach, as a person so far this season, and here's what he had to say.
All the focus is just on Sask. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were just out there at practice, wired up, ready to go. Everybody's just giving it their all and preparing and ready to go. So, I've learned a ton about myself and about the team, and I'm not surprised at how everybody stayed together. You can't do this by yourself. It's really who you surround yourself with. The people you surround yourself with, and it's, that's the truth. And so when you go through tough times, it's who you go, or we like to say, grow through it with, period. It's not any bigger than that. And, as a player, having been around for 20 years, and as a player and a coach, there's a lot of different things that have happened and ways for things to unravel. And my experience through everything has kind of brought me to here and what we believe are important and our pillars in our organization. Well, you should embody. It shouldn't be a PowerPoint. You should embody what you believe and surround yourself with people that want to support that vision, and then you're just being yourself. And that's what it is. Now, is that easy? No, but that's really the basis of it. So, and every week there's a, as we say, there's a test. So that's easy to focus. You get your prep days, you watch your film. It's the same for everybody, whether it's equipment, therapy, coaches, it's the same. So it's really easy to focus. No, that's a good question. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what you can get accomplished together. You know, when you have this many people together, football is just so unique in that way. As we like to say, it's the ultimate team sport. You have so many people that, you know, two are likely to go. There's always those people on the fringe, and it's how do you pull them in? And it's not because they're being malicious or they're trying to be outliers. It's just sometimes they don't know where to be. And so you embrace those type of things, and that's why you create an environment and a culture where people want to belong. And you go to work. Yeah, he's obviously playing with confidence. It's not like his arm's gotten any stronger. It's not like we've changed our offense. You know, he's just settled into a groove, and he's in a good headspace at the current time. And you know, he's spinning it and finding people the way that he would expect himself and the way we expected him to. And when we, you know, gave the football part of the organization over to Dane, and you know, so you know, I think the best is still yet to come. And so, you know, he'd be the better one to ask if there's something. But I've just seen, you know, a more confident guy. And other than that, everything else, the tangibles have remained the same. I hope so. And you don't ever really know until they go through practice and see how they respond. Running on the side and doing those type of things is good for the lungs and those type of things, and catching your breath and getting into. But, you know, game shape is called game shape for a reason. And you have to play that, and you got to practice. And so, you know, it's too early to judge or to make a decision on some of these. But for the most part, we're going to heal up in a week's time.
And that is the head coach and president of football ops of the Hamilton Ticats, Orlando Steinauer, as we caught up with him after practice today. We also had a chance to catch up with Tim White. And Tim White has, I would say, been one of the bright spots. There's been a bunch of bright spots, but Tim White has definitely been among the bright spots of the Ticats this season. He's got 78 catches for 983 yards and 7 touchdowns. Looking at 1,000 yards, very likely he'll hit it this week against the Rough Riders on Friday. But I wanted to know what that means to him, what it would mean to him to get 1,000 yards, and here's what he had to say.
It'll be big, you know, definitely be a big thing for me. I've never had 1,000-yard season, so it'll definitely be something that I'm looking forward to. 100%, just like the mental approach, you know, staying consistent and everything, and obviously fighting through injuries and everything to stay on the field, you know, so yeah, it's definitely validation on a lot of things. Yeah, you know, the main thing I just told them is basically when you're trying to, you know, get to a certain point of greatness, you know, you're trying to elevate your game. Sometimes it comes in, you know, with making mistakes like that, and sometimes it can be costly to the team, but that's just an experience that you take and you grow from, and, you know, hopefully he elevates and matures in that way in the direction that he wants to go. I think it will. Yeah, I think definitely, you know, when you're a young guy and, like, at first you're not getting on the field that much, you know, you're trying to gain respect from your teammates and then, you know, from your coaches. Sometimes you can kind of just press, you know, you could press too much. And, you know, obviously he got in and he came in and he slowed things down and he was making those plays, but clearly he feels like there's a step in his game and he wanted to take it, and, you know, he, you know, has a learning experience right there. So it's a great thing. And that's kind of one thing I can relate, because, you know, I'm trying to make a play, I might cut back and coach is like, dude, just go out of bounds or get down. I'm like, I'm trying to, you know, do something spectacular out here. So I can definitely, you know, relate in that way. We have some pretty good talent for sure. We have a lot of experience as well. It's definitely one of the top talented teams I've been a part of. It's just a matter of bringing it together, you know, so we can actually execute. But I think on these last few weeks, it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I think it's, you know, obviously the guys that are coming here, and then definitely the leadership within the locker room. I just feel like the guys that we have here, we just feel like we can win. So regardless of, you know, our record or, you know, certain outcomes, I think everybody still believes that we can truly win. And I think that's the most important thing. So as long as we keep that mentality, you know, I think we'll still be in it.
And that is Tim White, Ticats receiver, as we caught up with him earlier today, and talking about, of course, Keandre Smith there a little bit in the receiver room. And as always, full scrums are available at ticats.ca. And if you saw the scrums from this weekend, you saw that Dane once again had baby Ivy on the podium, fresh back from Tulsa. They were in Tulsa, and I actually had a chance to catch up one-on-one with Dane today after practice. And a great conversation. We really go in depth on a couple of things here. But I started off by asking, how was Tulsa?
It was great, man. First trip as a family, which we decided we're not going to go out of Pearson anymore. I think everybody knows that's pretty busy. But, no, it was great. Ivy did good on the flights. Didn't lose any luggage or anything. So it was great. Got to see some family and friends. We actually put an offer on a house. We didn't end up getting it. But it was cool. It was a good time. The weather was, beautiful. So it was a good little getaway.
What it means something? I mean, especially Truth and Reconciliation Week last week. You've talked about your pride of, being from Tulsa, your heritage, and to bring Ivy and Nikki as a family, like you say, first family trip, was it a little extra special?
Yeah, it was cool because, I mean, Tulsa, obviously Oklahoma is big in the indigenous population, but Tulsa, just outside of it, has one of the biggest reservations in the state with the Osage Indians. And it was just really cool, kind of like being there on that day. It's not as big of a holiday in the States, but it was just cool being there kind of where, I don't know, I didn't grow up there, but that kind of came up.
It's home.
Yeah, it's home, Yeah. So it was cool being there. A lot of people reached out to me. And then obviously the TSN feature that came out for Sportsnet. That was cool too. I was very honored to get to do that. It's just always a good time being able to go to Six Nations like that. And it was just a pretty incredible day. And I feel like a lot of people really took the message to heart and actually reached out and looked into things, and I feel like it was a very positive day overall.
You talked about this a couple weeks. Once your mind is clear, your body seems to follow. Has that been progressing the last couple of weeks, it seems? Yeah,
it definitely has. I think just at the beginning of the year, had a lot of things going on in my life as well as on the football field, and things kind of have slowed down, but also have started figuring things out. And yeah, I think talking with Dr. Edwards and just everybody up here, it's been helping me a lot playing wise. But better and greater than that, I just feel better. You know what I mean? I feel like me again, in the facility, on the field, but also at home. So it's been really good experience, and I'm gonna keep on.
What would your advice be to someone who thinks that I can get through this? This is just a funk. I don't need professional help. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of hesitation still. And I talked to Dr. Carla afterwards, and she said, Dane going out there, Sim going out there, and there's still hesitation, there's still stigma, wrongfully so. But what would your advice be to someone who thinks I don't need that?
Yeah. I mean, I totally get that because I was definitely in that boat too. But I think what changed it for me was just kind of viewing it as a coach, and because I'm a sport guy, right? So I viewed it as I got a quarterback coach. I got Tommy here, the OC. Coach O's our head coach. I just need a coach for my mind. And obviously there's some things you can do on your own, reading some books that are out there and stuff. But it's great to have a facility like this that will get you in touch with a professional such as Dr. Edwards. And I think when I kind of started looking at it like that, some of the fear and hesitation went away. And don't get me wrong, it was still uncomfortable that first meeting, not because of Dr. Edwards or anything like that, but it's uncomfortable to talk about a weakness. It always is, no matter what it's in. But I think that's really one of the first steps is admitting it and then kind of rolling from there.
Because there's a vulnerability, especially as a pro athlete, where you train your body and you don't want to be vulnerable. There is a vulnerability to saying, okay, I need help here.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I think through the vulnerability, you find your true strength, right? You go in the weight room and you lift every day and you just chip away slowly over time and to become stronger. Well, it's the same thing for your mind. You just slow. You're not. Sometimes you make large leaps. Sometimes you don't make a leap at all. But you chip away, and then one day you look up and you're better than you were. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about this football team. It's 4-10, but I've seen a lot of practices here. You would not know that this is a 4-10 football team. What's the key to that, and why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done a lot of things that got us in this situation, right? But they're all controllable, and we've earned the situation, much like in the past we've earned 15-3 or whatever it was. But we've earned where we're at, and the best thing is we just got to keep on winning, and we'll look up and find ourselves in a good spot again. But yeah, I think we all know that we just take ownership of it, and really all we can do is win. So there's no reason to sit there and be feeling sorry for ourselves. We just got to go out and win.
not to like the obvious personnel, but what do you see in similarities from that team to this team? I mean, that was a very good team with the record to show it for it. You feel like this is a good team that doesn't have the record to show it.
Right. Yeah, no, I feel like this is still a great football team, honestly. I think we do a lot of things right. Some things that have really hurt us this year are just situational things. But, you know, that's kind of in the past for us now. I feel like the last couple weeks, as a whole team, we've been hitting our stride. Obviously, last week was a setback. But it once again comes down to execution. And we just, in the key moments, we just got to execute, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. And the biggest thing that I'm the most proud of on this team and still am is nobody's, like, giving up. Like, that's not even a thought. So I'm still very proud of this team and proud to wear the black and gold.
The injuries, obviously, it's a part of football. It's part of the game. But, you know, you lose CVZ on the O-line. You lose Braylon. And we were just talking about this with Tim. When you look at games played, a young receiving group, for you, what's the challenge? What's the opportunity with a group like that?
Yeah, there is some challenge, but I don't think it's like a huge challenge. I actually kind of view it more as opportunity because we spend all this time up here together, so I kind of know those guys were later in the season. But for the defense that hasn't seen much film on them, hasn't seen them running in person and stuff, I kind of view that it plays into our favor, you know. Everybody that our management and our team brings in is going to be able to play ball. Like, we all know that. So it's just putting those guys in the opportunity to make plays and letting them go out there and do it. Not putting too much on their plate, but just enough that they can contribute.
I mean, the waiting room it's easier said than done, but to see David step in a couple of weeks ago and make some huge plays, the way Keandre, Tyler coming back into the lineup. I mean, those are 3 young Canadian guys, too, nationals, we should call them. What does it mean to see the success? Because, you know, we're going to throw Lamar in there, too. Yeah. But to have this kind of Canadian aspect of it, that seems to be doing so well.
No, it's huge. Super proud of those guys. I can remember when I was on the waiting room as well. Just super proud. I think those 4 guys that you named off are probably, if you ask everybody on the team who works the hardest just at any position, they're probably going to be the 4 answers you get, you know. Those guys, they definitely take care of their bodies and they're always grinding. And like you said, it's just a matter of getting that call up. And the greatest thing is, at least from my standpoint, I think from everybody else's, is when they're in the huddle, it's not like, oh, we got to help this guy. He's in, let's go. Like, we're rocking and rolling now. And I think that's evident, especially when you think back a couple weeks. Dave had to come in and caught a touchdown. Like, but there was no hesitation from anybody. It was just, Dave's in now, let's go, you know. So yeah, I think that's kind of how we roll.
Wes has really stepped up too, and you know, again, the waiting room concept. You could blame Wes if he was frustrated. You know, guy got 1 game over 2 seasons before coming in, and he's really made an impact. What does it mean to see that dedication to his craft and to see the success that he's had?
I think it shows you just exactly what he's made of. I think the frustration is normal, but he's a guy that I feel like, you know, maybe he was a little frustrated, but he never showed it. But that kind of fueled his fire. And honestly, I think he still practices just as hard now with being up from the waiting room and all. But he's somebody that let that kind of like humble him a bit, but also he's like, I'm just going to work and overcome it. And I think a lot of the guys on the team are cut from that cloth.
What are you most looking forward to this last month of the season here? Like, I can't believe it's the last month.
I know.
You go back to like
it's crazy, isn't
right?
it?
Like, what are you most looking forward to?
Just playing, getting at least two more opportunities at home to play in front of our fans, and we got 2 really great opportunities to go on the road and get a damn home or get a freaking away victory this year. Something this team hasn't done. I don't know why. We just got to figure out how to do it, and we got 2 more chances. But honestly, I'm just looking forward to playing with these guys and getting out there and just enjoying the game again. And we're in a great position because all we got to do is win, and that's what you want as a competitor.
Friday, we're celebrating Danny Mac too, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever wear the black and gold. What have you? I know you've had conversations with him. I know you talked to him before the last Grey Cup. And what have you taken away from those conversations and what it means to a little extra motivation to see a quarterback put into the Wall of Honor this week?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I know he's the last one to win a Grey Cup here. We've talked a couple times throughout my time here. And really just things that he told me are a lot of things that, honestly, Dr. Edwards and me have talked about. Just trust yourself, play ball, like you're here for a reason, those types of things. Don't worry about mistakes. Obviously, you're not trying to make mistakes, but if it happens, it happens. And just, whatever and move on. So I think it'll be really cool to have him in the building again. I know it'll be special for Hamilton. So it'll be great to see him again.
Thanks for doing this, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
And my thanks to Dane Evans for taking some time after practice today to sit down with me, and my thanks to you as well for joining us, for fighting through, as you can tell I am here. But thank you. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network so you never miss this show. And we'll be here, I was supposed to say we'll be here all week. I'll be here tomorrow. RJ filling in for me. RJ Broadhead filling in for me on Wednesday and Thursday, but we're getting you set. Between the two of us, we'll get you set for Friday's game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Ticats fans, it's time to ride on our strength from now until October 13th. Purchase 4 eligible Hercules passenger or light truck tires to receive a $100 Ticats rewards card and be entered to win our road trip sweepstakes. Available at participating Active Green and Ross Ontario locations or visit HerculesTires.com/AGR rewards. That'll do it for us today. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the Ticats Audio Network. From all of us here, I'm Louie Butko, hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today can be heard every weekday, and we would like to hear from you. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Have a question or an opinion? We want to hear it. That's gameday@ticats.ca. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.